It's the royal wedding, with Prince Philip marrying the love of his life, Lady Martha, and the president's son, Alex Claremont Diaz, and the vice president's granddaughter Nora Halloran, who are best friends, are also part of the guest list. Alex and Prince Henry, who's Prince Philip's younger brother, have actually met a couple of times, and they absolutely despise each other's guts. When Alex greets Henry, he of course ignores him, and Alex can't believe their stupid beef is still ongoing. Alex gets a few drinks and becomes drunk, and when he sees Henry he goes over to talk to him, and they start bickering, and Alex points out how Prince Philip's wedding cake that cost £75,000 could feed many families, and he says not as much as if they sell Alex's shoe collection. When Alex grabs his drink he accidentally touches the cake and his hand's full of frosting, and he tries to hide it until Henry aggravates him, and he touches him. Then it's very apparent that he touched the cake's frosting. Then Henry tries wiping it off and Alex tries helping him get it off his suit. Henry then pushes Alex backwards, and the cake starts shaking on its table. Then Alex pulls Henry down to the floor while he's trying to stabilize the cake. But this then causes the cake to fall onto them while all the guests watch in absolute awe. They end up as the biggest news story as a result of this. Alex, and his mom Ellen Claremont, who's the US president, and Ellen's deputy chief of staff Zara, are all in her office talking about the headlines that Alex and Henry have made. Because Ellen will be on the ballot in 14 months and these headlines are threatening her chances of running again. Zara explains the plan to fix Alex's mistake, and that's Alex and Henry telling and proving to the media that they're actually very close friends despite seeing each other a few times a year, and the cake saga was merely just them playing around. Alex gets a faction on Henry and vice versa, that he has to memorize, as they will be asked various questions about each other once Alex is back in the UK. Henry and Alex's press interviews are set in motion, and they're doing very well pretending to be best friends in front of the interviewers. They also go to a children's hospital together, and while there, bullets are fired, and the security puts them in a storage closet together. While in there together, Henry asks Alex why he dislikes him so much, and Alex says that it's because when they first met at a party at a climate conference in Melbourne, Alex was fairly new at the whole public figure scene and he feels as though Henry could have helped him through it. But he didn't, and instead he asked his secret services to get him out of the conference when Alex greeted him. Henry explained that he wasn't being rude to only him, but to everyone, as that was around the same time his father passed away, and everyone was parading him everywhere instead of letting him grieve in peace, and they both apologize to each other as they see they were wrong about the other. When Alex gets back to the US, he gets a message from an unknown number, and it's revealed that it's Henry. Henry and Alex start texting each other every single day, multiple times too, but still bickering and disagreeing about various things like the best poets, book authors, etc. Alex also invites Henry to his infamous New Year's party. Alex visits Zara and shows her his memo about how they could potentially improve Texas, and he begs her to read it. It's Alex's New Year's party, and Henry does indeed show up, and with his best friend Percy, who's shown an interest in Alex's best friend Nora. Henry starts off being very uptight and very awkward at the party until he starts drinking. Alex and Henry have a moment while on the dance floor. Everyone's dancing on the floor while they're the only two still standing, and they lock eyes. Everyone's counting down to midnight, and two different girls go to kiss Alex, and he obviously kisses them both back, but Henry starts acting off and distraught and runs out of the club. Alex later finds him outside and they have a heart-to-heart, and Henry reveals to Alex that sometimes he really wishes he wasn't a prince, but rather he wishes he was anonymous so he could do everything his heart desires, and date who he wants when he wants. Alex says that yeah sure, it must be very hard for a prince to date. Then Henry says of course he doesn't understand what he's trying to say and kisses Alex, and then seconds later pulls away and apologizes and leaves. Alex has been trying to get a hold of Henry, but he isn't replying to any of his messages, and he finally opens up to Nora. Nora says that she totally silently secretly called it, because Henry has not once checked her out since they've met, and he helped his best friend Percy get together with her, furthermore proving he wasn't into Nora. Nora then says that she knows that Alex is also into him, because at the New Year's party, he ignored almost all the women who always want his attention just to talk to Henry. And she asks him if he's ever been with a guy, and he says he actually has, once in high school and another time with Miguel Ramos, who's a political reporter. And it's not that he's confused about being bisexual. He just can't wrap his head around the fact that he might be into his mortal enemy Henry. Nora advises him to follow his heart, and his heart clearly wants Henry. Henry ends up showing up to the Prime Minister's gala party as promised, as it was a part of the various publicity events to show that him and Alex are actually friends. And another person in attendance is Alex's one-time fling, Miguel Ramos, and he's actively trying to communicate with Alex, but Alex's attention is on Henry the entire time. Miguel tells Alex that he read his memo and he's confused how, as his memo was actually classified information, and he tells him that it's very good and asks him if this is the year that the Democrats finally flips Texas. And he says yes to him even though he's focused on Henry, and he leaves. Alex and Henry meet in an empty room, all organized by Alex's head of security Amy, and they immediately start making out. And when it's time to go back to the crowd, Amy opens the door and walks in on them kissing. They go out to the party and have a conversation with the Prime Minister of the UK, and Ellen says that hopefully they'll get through the night without any scandals from them. They later meet again in Alex's room and are obviously making out again. After their makeout session, Alex tells Henry that he definitely identifies as bisexual. Then Henry says that he's as gay as a maypole, and he has no doubt about it. Henry then invites Alex to come to a charity polo match that he'll be participating in the following month, and he promises to be there. It's the charity polo match, and Henry is playing the designated rich boy sport. And of course Alex is there to support. After Henry's done playing, they venture off a shed, where they continue to make out numerous times, as that's what they usually do. Later that day, Henry tells Alex that he thinks that they should make love tonight, and Alex agrees, and that's of course what they end up doing. Alex and Ellen are in her office reading the news that states that Alex is actively playing a role in the campaign's new Texas strategy, and Ellen is shocked because she knows nothing about this so-called strategy. Alex says that if she had bothered to actually read his memo, she'd know what he's talking about. Ellen tells Alex that he needs to stop talking to Miguel and any other political reporters, as Miguel was the one who wrote an article about this Texas memo situation. Ellen listens to Alex and goes to ask Zara about Alex's memo. Ellen, Oscar, Alex's dad are all sitting down, going down Ellen's memory lane, and when Alex enters the room, they tell him that they read his memo and they think it's great, and they will be sending him down to Texas to put his memo into reality, and he's off on his way. Alex and Henry are narrating their email messages to each other about how Alex's work in Texas is going and how Henry constantly misses Alex. Henry then surprises Alex during his stay, while in the same bar as Miguel. They go to Alex's hotel room, and of course, they make out a lot, and the next morning it seems he slept over. Zara is at the door calling Alex to hurry up and get ready, as he has a lot of interviews ahead of him today. When she hears a second person talking to Alex, she decides to use her key and enters the room and runs into them naked, then starts actively looking for the girl he's hooked up with in the lounge wardrobe, at the back of the couches, in the bathroom. Then hears a thud in the other wardrobe and she's shocked to see Prince Henry, and she begins not being able to breathe completely as she's absolutely confused and shocked. Zara gathers herself and tells Alex that he needs to get dressed as soon as possible so they can get his mom re-elected, and tells Henry that he better not be seen leaving this hotel, and she wants to see him in England chewing on a crumpet by sunset. Alex goes to his mom's office and comes out to her, and tells her that she and Henry are together, and she doesn't judge him, and supports him unconditionally. Alex writes an email to Henry telling him that he's going to his parents' vacation house with his dad and Nora, and that his dad told him to invite Henry as well, and he says that Nora says to bring Percy. Henry and Percy do show up, and Henry finally gets to meet Alex's dad. Alex has a conversation with his dad about Henry, and Alex asks Oscar if he likes Henry, and he says that he does. Alex and Henry are chilling at the lake's deck, when Alex starts talking serious talk, and he says that he's never felt the way he feels about Henry about anyone else, and he says that he feels as though there's a rope between them that keeps bringing them together, while Henry seems off and kind of scared, and before Alex tries to tell him that he loves him, Henry quickly jumps into the water, then he later swims away while Alex calls out to him. Later that night, Henry decides to leave Alex while he's asleep, and Alex and Nora are having a conversation about Henry, when he says that he doesn't know what to do because he's been very quiet, and Nora advises him to go to England to see him face to face, and he takes Nora's advice and flies to England. When he gets there, they begin to bicker because Henry doesn't want to hurt Alex because he can't come out to the world as being gay, as his title doesn't allow him to do things apart from the traditional way, and Alex tells him that it doesn't matter. He'll wait however long he has to because he loves him that much, and Alex doesn't need to shut him out. They make up and say their goodbyes. Alex gives him his necklace that has a key to his old house he grew up in, and Henry gives him his ring as well. The following morning, Henry is told that his and Alex's emails have been leaked and everyone knows about their relationship, and his grandfather is also on his way to try and fix their mess. Meanwhile in the US, we find out that Miguel was the first reporter to write an article about Henry and Alex's emails and their relationship, and the other news reporter is confused on how Miguel was able to read their 72 emails, write an article and publish it all in 2.5 hours, and it's so obvious that he had a hand in the hacking of their emails even though he doesn't admit it. But it doesn't take a genius to know that he at least knew something. Alex is whining to Zara about how much he wishes he could talk to Henry, and Zara gets fed up with his whining and calls San, who's Henry's equerry, and we find out that Zara and San actually have a secret relationship just like Henry and Alex, except they can actually keep secrets, and Alex and Henry are able to talk to each other. Alex, Henry, Prince Philip, his grandfather, King James III are all talking about Alex and Henry's situation, and his grandfather's trying to tell him that if he wants to be the beloved Prince Henry, he can't let the world know his true self, until Henry's little sister Beatrice looks out the window, and it's the citizens showing Henry and Alex support. Henry and Alex go out and Henry shows his country that he's proud of who he is. Back in the United States, Ellen is behind her competitor by 0.2% and it's all up to Texas whether Ellen is re-elected again. Alex asks Henry to go to another part of the White House, and he thanks Henry for being there for him, and he says that he definitely couldn't do this without him. And a few seconds later, Ellen has won over Texas and has been re-elected again as the President of the United States of America. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is red, white, and royal blue. Thanks for watching.